Okay, day 27's coming at you early. Um, right before I'm like, what is happening with my hair? So, I don't even know if I can talk about this on YouTube without it getting deleted. I think I can. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I might have to use code words. So, y'all obviously know how I went from like zero plant medicine, zero experimenting to like step 100 ayahuasca. So I went from 0 to 100. I didn't do anything in between. And since doing that, I'm super drawn to the supportive energy of consciousness of plant medicine. And as we all know, there's other plant medicine as well. So I had ordered some chocolate. And I know the people watching is going to be like, oh boy. What happened? This is called Unearthing Jen. It's not like how much can Jen kook out or what's wrong with Jen. It's how can Jen find more consciousnesses, higher consciousness to support her journey, okay? So it depends how you look at it. And so last night I've been really drawn to trying this. And so last night I had like the teeniest, tiniest little smidge of chocolate and with plant medicine in it. Because I'd never done it before and I wanted to try and see how I feel. And I just want to keep telling you, like, it's like it has a stigma attached to it, and plant medicine has a consciousness, okay? So it interacts with you. The consciousness is supportive, and that might sound weird to people, like, oh, it's just whatever. But anyways, so I took a bite. I did not expect it to taste like crap. Like, I thought it was going to taste like yummy chocolate because I had CBD chocolate before and it tasted like chocolate. This did not taste like chocolate. And I'm like, oh, good thing I only had a tiny little bit. So whatever. 1 hour goes by, 2 hours go by, and I'm like, oh, maybe I didn't have enough of a bite. And then we went, this is super cool. This is what I'm talking about because for me, this is linked to my gifts. This is linked to the acceleration and the high rising, literally, platform or experience that is going to allow my gifts to go even further, okay? So I am clairvoyant in the sense where I can clearly see psychic visions, but usually the visions are inside my head, like a picture, like a dream, like a movie, projected out like a screen. So 2 hours go by, we go for a walk. I'm like, this isn't working, it's fine. I go for a walk. I'm feeling fine, feeling normal. And I saw this couple, this really young couple, crossing the street, a busy street, with their phones in their hand. And I looked at the man, and he had a baby in his, an actual 3-dimensional baby in his hands, like carrying it like one of those carry-all things. And I'm like, wow, they're gonna have a baby. It didn't even occur to me that this wasn't legit. This wasn't in this world. And I looked back at them, and there was no baby. There was no actual baby. So the cool thing about that is that I started to see 3-dimensionally instead of just in my head, right? And then I can see how like people who are new to this work or think they're crazy because they're like, did I really see that? But I saw that because I have that background in clairvoyance and just like amped it up into like a 3-dimensional printer and put it like there's an actual baby there, but there's not actual baby there to tell me that they were going to have a baby soon. And I wanted to yell at them, hey guys, you're going to have a baby. But that'd be weird, so I didn't do that. And so that was cool. Then we're just walking home, everything's fine. And then I'm like, I'm gonna go meditate, see what's going on. So what I did with my intention, because your intention is super powerful, is I called upon the ayahuasca plant back. Because when you take ayahuasca, whether 1 time or 10 times, it's still in your system and your energy. So I called that back, and I called in the cannabis plant, and you have to be very respectful of these plants, right? So I was very respectful, set my intention, I just wanted to feel not busy in my mind. I'm telling you, I think I meditated for 2 hours last night, just sitting there because I really couldn't do anything else. So I kept my eyes closed, and I'm like, this is cool. This is cool. Not the same with ayahuasca, but I would call it a baby ayahuasca if I had to compare the two intensities. But it was very eye-opening. So I asked questions and I would get answers, just like with ayahuasca, right? I ask a question. So I think the message here is like, you got to be super intentional and not downplay these plant medicines, these consciousnesses, because they're there to help you and support you. I know it sounds weird, but that's what they want to be known as. It's almost like they don't want to be known as just like something you do to chill out with, which is great, but they have a purpose. They serve a purpose, and we're here to use these medicines to expand our consciousness. So that's what I'm using it for. But the difference with ayahuasca and cannabis was I can't remember a lot of things with the cannabis, but I remember everything vividly with the ayahuasca. Like I could recount now without a book what happened in ayahuasca, what I remembered, all my experience. But with this, I don't really remember specifics. I remember asking about certain people, show me about this person, and they would show me like Jim Carrey from The Mask. I'm like, oh, that's interesting, right? Because plants, medicine, consciousness, higher consciousness can't lie, because that's a low vibration that humans do, or the way humans behave. So asking questions, so your intention is super strong, and I'm like, when are we going to do this again? Because I just feel deeper in my beingness, if that makes sense, and I feel supported, and I feel more myself. So I'm trying to think. It was a funny story. Like my husband came upstairs, he was like, "How's your trip?" How's your trip? And I'm like, it's great. You should do this too. That's what it was. So 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, never ending, never taking a break. I always have a song in my head. It's a different song every time, but it's always a song constantly. My brain is always singing, and it makes me upset because I never have a break. I never get a break from the songs in my brain. And for 10 to 15 minutes last night, because I didn't really know what time was going on, the songs were gone. I was like, oh my God, like so relieved that I had this 15-minute break from my brain always doing something and always having songs in it. And I started to cry because I'm like, thank God, like finally I get a break of these songs not being in my head, because it's tiring, it's exhausting. The same thing would be like if you had thoughts in your head all the time, which you probably do. It paused it. I was like, this is the thing, man. This is going to be the thing. I probably will never do a video taking my chocolate, but yeah, you guys see the witness of my dog being very bad. So I'm gonna go. I just wanted to share that with you because that was an interesting experience that I had, and I hope you liked it. And 2 more days of unearthing gems, so we'll see what happens next.